Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. It's Mallory with Made by Manny and Mal. Today, I am excited. This cup is pretty much completely different than what I envisioned in my head, but I love how it turned out and I'm so excited to show you the tutorial. We are taking it all the way to outer space for this video and I really hope you love this cup. I love how it turned out and I'm so excited to see what you create using this technique and this theme and this vibe. I really hope you enjoy it. If you do, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel if you are not already. And if you're not already, just click that little button right there. It's super easy. 1 second, just a click. I'll wait. Did you do it? If you did, thank you so much. I appreciate you and it really helps out our channel. So thank you for subscribing and watching this video. I think that's it. Let's go. We're using a 20-ounce skinny straight from Craft Haven for this design, and I've actually already wrapped it in vinyl. Here's a TikTok using the exact same vinyl, wrapping it around a cup. Did the same process. I always do. I will link the video going over specific vinyl wraps. If you don't know how to do it, you can watch that video and learn how. Once we've got the vinyl on our cup, we're going to go straight into a thin coat of epoxy. I'm taking about 15 to 20 milliliters of CC DIY Fast Set and just doing a quick coat to seal everything in. I let it cure about 4 hours, and once it was dry, I was ready to add my glitter. We're going to do kind of a waterfall ombre-ish effect up from the bottom of the cup. So I'm going to paint a little less than halfway, and then I'm going to use the epoxy method to apply this Optimist glitter from PDB. Look at all that holographic sparkle. Like, hello rainbow. I am taking Aurora Blue from Montana Colors, and I'm going to spray the entire bottom and then go just a little bit less than halfway. So here's what it looks like. This is just going to be a guide for our glitter. We're probably going to take the glitter a little bit further up the cup than what the paint says, but at least we have a good guideline and a good base. Once the paint was dry, I went in with less than 1 milliliter of epoxy and applied it about halfway up the cup, so I did go past the paint line, and I'm going to go straight into my glitter. We're just using this one glitter, so we're going to cover the entire bottom and then work our way up to create that like reverse waterfall fade. Once I had the bottom of the cup covered, I switched to the side of the shaker that has the little holes in it so all the glitter doesn't come out at once. And then I just slowly worked my way up the cup, creating that fade. I did pretty full coverage. I wasn't building on anything since we are just using this one glitter. And once I was ready to start kind of tapering off the glitter, I held my cup at a downward angle and then continued to increase that angle to get more and more glitter going up the cup. And I held my shaker really far back, so I'm really just kind of dusting this to get a light fade. Once that glitter layer was dry, I went straight into another coat of epoxy. I used about 30 milliliters on this cup, and I let this cure a full 12 hours. This is fast set epoxy, but I wanted to make sure it was totally dry before I went in and did all of my sanding and cleaned up the cup to make sure we were ready for our decal. For this decal, I am using another like clip art collage that I put together using Canva. I showed you in my last video how I use Canva to kind of arrange these elements into collages, so I will link that video for you if you want to learn how I put those together. For this space themed image, I did the exact same thing. I just used different clip art. I used some planets, some galaxy backgrounds and things like that, but the process is exactly the same. I printed it out on printable vinyl, and then I just cut the image out with scissors. You don't have to be perfect when you cut this out. I wanted to be actually a little bit rugged, so our images looked a little bit more like rustic. And then I peel all the backing off at once, apply from the middle, and then smooth outwards to avoid any bubbles, any tearing, anything like that. Printable vinyl is pretty delicate, so you want to be careful when you apply, especially big decals like this. I went straight into another coat of epoxy after applying this decal. Printable vinyl is not like water slide. You don't need to seal it before. You don't need to do anything with it. You can just apply it like a regular, like permanent vinyl decal pretty much. So straight into epoxy, no need to seal this. I did about 20 milliliters on this coat, and once it was cured, I was ready to add my paint pen detailing. For the detailing on this cup, we're going to be using a technique similar to the one I used in my last video when I outlined the flowers. We're using the same exact white acrylic paint pen, but for this design, we're not going to outline anything in the middle. We're just going to keep it on the edges of this image. This is going to kind of make it look like it's more part of the tumbler versus a decal that we just stuck on there, and it's going to give it a more artistic and finished feel. So just working my way around the edges, I'm still doing the same like sketch artist kind of lines here. I'm not doing perfectly clean lines. I'm breaking them up intentionally to make it look really kind of rough and rugged and artistic. Outlining this image kind of gives me like a geode feeling, like if you were to do maybe a glitter border around the image or do another layer of maybe thicker paint pen, I feel like that would look really cool, like the space is coming out from the middle of the cup. I don't know, maybe one of you can make that happen and show me if my vision is legitimate or not. I sealed that paint with a coat of epoxy, did not have to seal the paint pen or anything, it will dry just fine, and you can go in with epoxy right after the paint dries. We're keeping the decal on the other side of this cup pretty simple. I'm just using the word Limitless in this really pretty font. I will have this available as an SVG in my digital shop, which is linked in the description box below. I feel like this is a really cool, just simple, like there is no limit, the sky's not the limit, there's footsteps on the moon, like that kind of vibe, but very simple and just kind of powerful. So I cut it out using hyacinth blue vinyl from Tech Wrap Craft. It's a really cool color shifting vinyl that matches perfectly with the colors we've got going on in this cup. And then once I had the transfer tape on, I cut off the top and bottom edges of the backing so that I could use the hinge method to apply this. Made sure it was positioned correctly, like in the center of the cup. And then I pulled up the backing and hinged the decal down onto the cup. Okay, here's what the decal looks like on the cup. I think it's super cool. The color shifting and the colors just completely match with the vibe of this cup, and I am totally loving it. Once I had that on the cup, I went in and sealed it using Quick Coat from CC DIY. This is not epoxy. This is a just sealer like polyacrylic or clear spray paint from Rust-Oleum. I just like Quick Coat. It's super easy to apply, dries quickly, and I have never had any issues with it. So once that dried, I went in with my final coats of epoxy. This took 2 final coats to make sure it was totally smooth, so I used CC DIY Fast Set, and then for my final coat, I used a little extra epoxy, and once that was cured, we were all done. I absolutely love how this tumbler turned out. Like I said, this is completely different from what I initially envisioned, but I am so happy that it went in this direction because I really like the final result. Hopefully you enjoyed this tutorial. I cannot wait to see what you come up with using these techniques, so please be sure to tag me in your photos at Made by Manny and Mal. Give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, and let me know what you think in the comments. Thank you so much for watching, and we will see you in the next one. Love you. Bye.